Hi BookTube, I'm here with a small book haul for you. As usual, I always buy my books at like thrift stores or used bookstores or garage sales because I like to have cheap books because that means I can get more. Um, yeah, so I'll just jump right into it and show you what I got here. The first one I have is by the science fiction goddess Ursula K. Le Guin. This is Orsinian Tales. I really love Ursula K. Le Guin and how she is a big advocate for science fiction writing. I'm just going to read you what it says here because I think it's really beautiful. Orsinian Tales represents the delicate, well-polished wood carving of a woman who has created whole forests in words, lovely and sophisticated. So this is just a collection of her short stories. Then I saw this book and I had to have it. It's by Patch Adams. If you don't know, there was a movie made about his life starring Robin Williams. And he's a doctor who takes a holistic approach to healing. So as opposed to just the physical aspect of healing, he believes that there's a spiritual and psychological effect as well that you have to incorporate. And he believes that, laughter is the best medicine, kind of. So this is called House Calls, How We Can All Heal the World One Visit at a Time by Patch Adams, MD. And I love that there's little comics and everything in there. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of going in and out of this. Then I got Boy, Snow, Bird by Helen Oyoyemi. I've been wanting this book for a while, and I was really happy when I found it in the thrift store. 50 cents. Amazing. This is a retelling of Snow White, but it also takes place during the civil rights movements in the 1950s, and it concentrates around an African American family that's passing for white because they're light-skinned, but then a baby is born to them and he's darker skinned, so I guess there's a bit of controversy there. Then I picked up this one, The Penguin Book of Summer Stories, selected and introduced by Alberto Manguel. This is a collection of short stories that have the common thread of being set in the summertime. But I picked this up mostly because of the authors included, which include Ray Bradbury, Italo Calvino, Albert Camus, Julio Corteza, Shimaki Kinsaku, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, John Updike, Daphne du Maurier, Alice Munro. It's just a huge long list of amazing authors, some of which I already love and some of which I've wanted to get into, so I figured maybe short stories would be the way to kind of introduce myself to those. Then I picked up this. I think it's an art copy. It doesn't say on it whether it is or not, but it looks like an art copy, you know what I mean? It's called Animals by Don LePan, and I really liked the setting that this book takes place in. It says on the back here, virtually all the species that humans have for millennia used as food have become extinct. And obviously the world is altered greatly by this, but that's not the main plot of the story. There's actually a story of a young boy who has something wrong with him growing up. So I think that's quite interesting setting and an interesting character, and hopefully the plot will be interesting as well. Then I got this quite popular book, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. This is a YA novel about a zombie romance. I think you all pretty much know that by now. This next book I'm actually probably going to read quite soon. I am very excited about this. This is called Moving Forward Sideways Like a Crab by Shani Mutsu. This is a book that has so much intersectionality in it that it's really, really intriguing. So first of all, the author is an Irish-born author, but she was born to Trinidadian immigrants, and then she migrated over to Canada. So there's that. And then the actual story takes place in Canada and Trinidad, but it's about a young man who kind of gets distance from his mother And then as she's dying, she calls him to her bedside eventually, like, you know, they reconnect, but he finds out that his mother has now transitioned from female into male. So that looks really interesting, and I think it's her telling the story on her deathbed. And then, if I haven't already praised John Brunner enough, I've been looking for a physical copy of some of his novels, and he's not really quite published yet, and his books are quite expensive online. So I've been looking at used bookstores, at thrift stores, everywhere, for specifically this Last Stand at Zanzibar and The Sheep Look Up. And I haven't been finding John Brunner anywhere, but I decided to go to a new used bookstore, and I did. I found 4 John Brunner novels. Not the ones I was looking for, but at this point I'm willing to pick up anything by him. So first we have The Complete Traveler in Black. This seems to be more of a fantasy than a science fiction novel. It seems to be about this kind of wizarding dude who goes around and he punishes people for worshipping the old gods, such as, he says here, Lady Luck, the elementals, the undead. And then he intervenes on people's behalf, but usually something goes wrong for them. That's what I've gleaned from the back. Anyways, so that looks really interesting. Then I picked up The Dreaming Earth. This is... The back makes it seem like Make Room, Make Room, probably better known as Soylent Green. It's an overpopulated world, and we're following a detective who's investigating this new drug epidemic, and the drug is called Happy Dreams, and it kind of makes people inert, apathetic, impotent, kind of like just not caring. All they want to do is have their happy dreams. I really like his commentary on society and stuff like that, and that's what I think a lot of his science fiction does. It's just commenting on that again. This one's called The Whole Man by John Brunner. Again, I'm just going to read the back because it's really simple. Gerald Howson was born in the gutter with the body of a cripple. He was raised in harsh poverty and ridicule, and he would grow up with a mind of a transcendent power. What kind of man would he be? So this, looks kind of really interesting about, what kind of person with that kind of background, but with great mental powers, mental capability, turn out to be. Again, you see the commentary on society there. And then lastly, I have the Dramaturges, I think. I don't know, I've never seen the word before. The Dramaturges of Yan. And this is about a dramatist whose plays kind of change the culture that they kind of take place in. And so he comes and he wants to do this great drama about the heroes of ancient Yan and kind of the effects that his drama has on culture. So I think I think a lot of books, maybe like Station 11, may not know it, but they have a lot owing to John Brunner. I'm really quite astounded at him. Maybe I'll do a whole video on him after I've read some of these books and know more about him and more about his thoughts on society and everything. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you find any John Brunner books, pick them up because they're amazing. Amazing. So let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them, and what was the last book that you bought. Remember to keep on reading.